You are live.
We'll go ahead and call the November 2020 Barren County Board of Education meeting to order. And this time I'll ask Superintendent Matthews if he'd like to kick us off the word of prayer.
I'd be happy to. Thank you, Chairman Dilly. Before I do that, I wanted to give just a moment and recognize the passing of one of our students at Barren County High School. He was a junior. His name is Roberto Campos. He will be dearly missed by his family, his friends in our high school and our school district. Just want to offer prayers for him and his family, all of his loved ones, and also he had a sibling by the name of Selena Campos, who was also injured in the accident that took Roberto. And at this time, I would just like to ask each of you to offer a moment of silence for that family and for Roberto, and then I'll conclude with the prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day and for this appointed hour to conduct the business of the Barren County School District. Lord, I would ask a special prayer for the family of Roberto Campos and his sister Selena, and his parents and his other siblings and all the relatives. Just ask for the hand of comfort to be applied to each of them, and your hand of healing to touch Selena. Lord, we're mindful of great strife that's a part of our community. Those that are afflicted with a virus, those that have issues of the body and of the mind, and also, Lord, spiritual needs that exist in our community, and just ask that you would be with each of those. And we pray for understanding and acknowledge that you're our creator and in charge of all, and you know best in every situation. Just ask that you would be with each person that's represented here this evening and the role that they play in the school district, and may we make decisions that are in the best interest of all. And we're thankful and grateful for the sacrifice and the love, and it's in the name of Jesus Christ that we pray. Amen. Thank you, Chairman Dilly.
I guess if we're not giving any awards tonight, we'll go ahead and start with our reports, and I'll hand it over to Superintendent Matthews.
Thank you, Chairman Dilly. Well, good evening, everyone. I appreciate your patience as we navigate the virtual world again. I wanted to start with a couple of things. One of the most probably urgent matters has been a great topic of discussion this week is when are we going to restart in-person learning? I actually made a course adjustment there this week in making a decision to postpone a restart. We're going to actually extend our distance learning structure through the Thanksgiving break, and our goal at this point is to restart in-person learning for those that have chosen that mode of learning for 11/30/20, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving. Certainly a great many reasons have gone into that. We certainly understand and have heard from a great many parents about the need to get their child back in school, back with their child's teacher, and we respect that and we recognize that. We've also heard from staff and the concerns that they have about the community illness that is among us, and certainly that's been weighed. But after speaking with officials at our local health department this morning and this afternoon, there was today sadly is a record high for the number of open cases that are being worked in our county, and that in addition to the status of our local hospital and the trends that they're seeing, along with consultation of local health providers that I rely on in our community on a daily basis. That led me to reverse course on the restart and postpone that to 11/30/2020. I just want to encourage our students and our parents to reach out to their child's teacher, their child's principal, and continue to work on communication, especially when things aren't going well at home for distance learning, and whatever those issues are, we're dedicated to trying to meet those needs and resolve those issues. So that's not a decision that is made lightly, but that's where we're headed at this point in time, and certainly we'll continue to be mindful of data on a day-to-day basis here in our communities in Barren County. Also wanted to move forward with some conversation tonight. We have a couple of new faces in the virtual world to us. Greg Champ, Brad Abel with Train, and I would ask those gentlemen at this time to introduce themselves to our board members, and if you would update us on a new project that is getting underway here in the Barren County School District. So welcome, Brad and Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. This is Greg. I'm a project developer for Train. I've been involved in the construction of this Barren County project for a number of months, meeting with your team and staff. It's been a pleasure. Brad is our project manager, and I will let Brad kind of go over the scheduling details. He's got a schedule that he's printed out and I think distributed, and he can give everybody the update there.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Matthews and Greg. So I'm Brad Obley. I'm the construction manager for the Guaranteed Energy Savings Project that we just got started with. And so thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you guys an update tonight and kind of give you a look at to where we're going over the next couple of weeks. So first up, the thing that we've got started on currently and we've listed as a high priority is installation of bipolar ionization equipment in all of the schools. And so currently we have that complete at Barren County Middle School, Red Cross Elementary, Eastern Middle School, and then today we just finished Heightsville. And we continue to push that schedule forward into next week with Park City and Temple Hill. And so also today we've released orders for LED lighting, controls infrastructure equipment, and we've released some partial mechanical equipment for ROTC in the high school auditorium. And currently we haven't started any mechanical or electrical work in the facilities. We're on hold waiting for the housing building construction plan reviewer to review the plans and approve those. And so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that process, but anything that involves mechanical, electrical, or plumbing work inside of facilities has to go through a state review and approval before we can actually start physical work. So we're about 2 months into that now and anxiously awaiting word back from them. And so I'll look ahead over the next 2 weeks, some of the things that we can do without their approval. We've got the window film for Trojan Academy slated for this week of 11/30. And starting next week, we plan to start the installation of the controls infrastructure at North Jackson and High School. And the ROTC classroom system falls under the category of equipment repair and replacement. So we'll also be trying to move forward with that around 11/27 is the scheduled date for the equipment to show up. And then continuing on with that, the solar for Heightsville, it's currently under structural evaluation to make sure that the roof will support the load, but our target date is December for installation of that.
Brad, just a quick question. Could you kind of clarify for the board what the ionization work is and why that's very timely and should be reassuring to parents and staff in our school district?
Yes, sir. So the bipolar ionization is a sensor that we're installing in all of the HVAC equipment, and it goes into the airstream of the equipment. And it has a couple of key benefits. Probably the one that's most pertinent to our time and situation that we're in currently is it has a significant reduction of virus and bacteria that it causes or reduces in the space. And it's not a new technology. It's been around for a long time, but obviously it's gained a lot of popularity over the last year with everything going on. And to give you a little background to how that works is these devices produce millions and millions of positive and negatively charged ions and distribute those into the airstream of the HVAC equipment. And obviously that affects the bacteria and viruses in space. It causes them to break down and no longer be effective in infecting people.
Well, Brad, appreciate that. Any questions for Brad or Greg, please? Don't hear any, don't see any. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. Have safe travel home. Oh, wait, you're already there. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Moving on, I'd like to segue into kind of another project overview of where we are, and we've got Tommy Gum. You'll see that distinguished gentleman in one of the Hollywood squares, and then we've also got maybe a new face to you. His name is Mr. Jeremiah Hawkins with RBS Design. Craig was not able to be with us tonight, but Jeremiah is a partner there with RBS, and he's up to speed on what we're headed into next. So, Jeremiah, could you kick us off?
Yes, will do. Will do. So, like you said, I'm Jeremiah Hawkins. For those who probably haven't seen me or met me, and what I would like to present to the board tonight for approval is a BG1, and I know that would typically mean that we have more projects going on. This one, however, is a little bit different. This BG1 is a little bit of a technicality. Since the BAVL program that we have being placed in the new preschool renovation, that doesn't really show up on the district's facility plan as something that requires a building. So KDE has requested that we kind of pull that out of that project to show that we're specifically adding this admin portion into that project. So when you look at these costs in here, those aren't really additional costs. Those are just going to be broken out of the preschool. And so how we'll work that is essentially we'll bid it and ask for a separate breakout on that cost that comes in, so that then we know we can go back and revise this BG1 to reflect the BAVL, and then revise the other BG1 already in order for the preschool renovation to revise that cost. So again, not really a new project or any new funds being moved around. We're just we're really just kind of following the orders that KDE is asking us to provide. And I know it's a little different since we're doing everything virtually, but I did confirm today that this will need to be signed by both the board chair and Mr. Matthews before we can send that off tomorrow and start getting that in line. And I think Tommy will touch a little bit more on the timeline of things, but that's about all I had to present. So any questions on that or on anything else?
I can come by tomorrow on the way in to sign those, though.
All right, thank you. That sounds great. Jeremiah, thank you. Here we're talking about Bible space. I understand why KDE might have had some questions. They probably don't deal with a lot of virtual schools, but we still do have a need for some office space to be reserved for Babel, and that's how it was going to make this project complete. So that's why we're asking the board to approve this particular BG1. It's the outcome is going to be exactly what we wanted it to be. It's just this is the path they said we had to go down.
Right. KDE just wanted to make sure that, mostly that we weren't taking up some of that square footage out of the preschool that was going to hurt our needs in that regard, and then also just to kind of clarify the path of what this other program that we're using in that kind of extra square footage is. So not really a huge change. We're just trying to get both things rolling.
Well, thank you, Jeremiah. Tommy, where does this put us in timelines of when are we actually going to see things start hitting the ground and moving?
Well, we have all the documents in our possession right now. Tomorrow we will upload those to Lynn Imaging. That's the company that distributes electronic documents or paper documents. Most everybody now gets electronic documents, which actually saves us a lot of money. We used to have to pay for the printing of those documents, and a project this size, we might have been out $18,000 just for printing. Now we have a one-time cost of about $3,500, and then everybody gets those documents electronically. But we'll have to wait based on an agreement that we have with Mr. Bauman. We will wait till Tuesday, which would be the 17th, to distribute documents. That will become our official advertisement. KDE does recognize Lynn Imaging as a means rather than a local paper anymore, so that's the way we get the project advertised. We're advertising for bids to be received on December the 10th. That date corresponds, we hope, with your board meeting on the 12th, where we would bring the recommendations from RBS and Alliance to you, hopefully for award on the projects. We will have a pre-bid meeting November the 30th. Currently, we have both of these events set up at the auditorium. That there will be some question in regard to the timing and whether or not we'll be able, we know we can do social distancing with 30 or 40 people, but if we have some guidelines that restrict us, down to the 10 people, we have recently done a pre-bid and actually a bid virtually. We live stream it as you all are doing, and we can make that happen. Hopefully we don't have to do that, but we can. The Bible Project, as Jeremiah mentioned, we will do that as a breakout. Just so you all know, we are bidding these projects since they are separate BGs. We're bidding two separate projects, but we will allow bidders to combine and provide us with hopefully a better price to combine both projects. Since they're right there together, we really believe that there will be some nice cost savings for that. Tomorrow, Alliance will send out an unofficial invitation to a lot of contractors we have in our database. That'll get everybody on notice that on Tuesday they can go to Lynn Imaging and get their documents. This is a little bit of a short time frame, especially with the Thanksgiving holidays. So I just want to mention to you that I hope we can maintain the schedule. If we get pushback and it looks like we're not going to get the very best bids we can, I may have to come back to you and ask you to extend everything a week, which might mean a special call meeting just to take action on the bids. But for right now, we're going to try to take bids on the 10th and present those to you folks on the 12th.
Tommy, I think the 12th might hit on a Saturday. The 10th would actually be possibly the December board meeting date. I'm just wanting to double check.
Okay. Hold on. I may have, yeah, you're right. December the 10th is, so Is your board meeting on the 10th or the 17th?
It's on the 10th.
Oh, boy. Well, that's going to create a difficulty for us. I don't think we can move it back, Bo.
Well, I'll tell
We're
you,
just
we
at the
might get
time
one more meeting out of Carrie Dilly, possibly, and Tammy
Well,
Gross.
that's kind of what I was thinking.
I knew you
all-
couldn't get rid of them that easy.
So if it's okay, and we haven't published this yet officially, if we could move, would you like to move to the 15th or the 17th, Bo, for your board meeting?
I'll need to hear that from board members, what works for them.
Okay.
I'm kind of springing that on them. You're proposing either the 15th or 17th?
Yes, sir.
So we'll get back with you hopefully tomorrow and nail down a date, if that's okay.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. If you do decide 17th, I may go ahead and move the bid to the 15th, just to give bidders another weekend, a few more days. So I guess I'm saying the 17th for your meeting might be better, but if you need the 15th, we'll make it work.
Okay, we'll get back to you on that.
Very good. Any questions?
Tommy, in the whole process, and I know we don't have a crystal ball on this, but from a financial standpoint, it's advantageous for us to have a bond sale and go to market as soon as we possibly can, with interest rates being extremely low. So when do you think we might be able to actually look at going to market on a bond sale for the district?
Based on this timeline, Bo, I would say probably with the holidays in there, the last of January.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Any questions for Mr. Gum or Mr. Hawkins? Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being with us tonight.
Glad to.
Absolutely.
Thank you all. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
I don't have any other items to speak to unless there's something that I want to tag on to with one of the directors. But I did want to make mention tonight, out there in the virtual world, we've got two newly elected board members. Tammy Gross will be glad to know that Nikki Shelton is viewing tonight via live stream, and she's trying to get her feet wet about what is all this involved with the board. And Mr. Brad High, Carrie Dilly, his friend, he's going to be joining the board in Mr. Dilly's seat. And Brad, welcome, and I know you guys can't see or talk to us, but I just wanted to mention to both of you, congratulations, and look forward to working with you. All right, Mr. Dilly, Chairman Dilly, that's all I have for this evening.
All right, any questions for Mr. Matthews? You guys say no, I can't see you.
No.
Okay. We'll move on. Ms. Shannon Fant.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Chairman Dilly. I have no action items for tonight, but I do have an announcement for our food forum, which we are required to announce at least 60 days prior to our food forum, and we will host that at 4 p.m. before the board meeting in January. So just like for that to go on public record. And also just a reminder for publicly, if there's anyone who would like to opt out of food delivery, they can do that by visiting the Barren County Schools website for opt-out. And then other FYI items, we were able to get approved for childcare programming, and we're very excited about that at Austin Tracy and at Temple Hill. And we were open during one of our first virtual Fridays. So we had a couple of students at each of those elementary schools. And if you want to see pictures of some of the activities they did, you can look at that on our report. We're also, Heather and Sonia and a large crew are working on writing 21st century grants for all of our schools that will have those to come for renewal. And we had a great month in nutrition services for the month of October. Even with our fall break, we were able to deliver food, which allowed us to maintain our reimbursement. So, and we've transitioned to summer feeding for that. So it's been a great month, and also wanted to publicly thank all of the folks who've helped make that happen. Our bus drivers, our instructional assistants, and all of the nutrition services staff, and all the support that we've had from the community. And that's all I have, unless you all have questions for me.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Fant?
No.
We'll keep moving on. I know this is kind of out of line with what we usually do, but I'll go ahead and call on Mr. Joe Murley. We need some excitement.
Thank you, Chairman Dilley. Start with the month-to-date reports, and this is for year-to-date October. Fund 1 revenue received was 25.58% of budgeted revenue, and on the expense side, expenses incurred were 25.46% of budget expenses. Fund 2, expenses incurred $2.6 million, and then revenue received was $1.668 million. For Fund 51, revenue received as of October, $2.376 million, and expenses incurred $2.215 million. For the second item, just asking your all's approval on a revision of the salary schedule. And then for the third item, request approval on a fundraiser, just one additional fundraiser, and it fits in the notes. The fourth item I have for you is the approval of that BG1 they were talking about, BG 21-132. They hit on that earlier. And then I think Mr. Harper is going to cover the KETS offer, and that was the other thing on the agenda. So that's really all I have. Do you have anything for me?
Any questions for Mr. Joe Murley? If not, we'll move on. Mr. Frazier?
Thank you. I have no action items, but I do have FYI. The greenhouse construction is complete. Bradshaw finished that up this week. So now our maintenance guys will move in and complete the wiring and plumbing of that facility. So it's looking really good. If you have the opportunity to go by and check that out, that's come along really well. Also, the installation of the digital sign at Red Cross Elementary has been completed. So it's also would be up and working. It's been installed, but should be up and working soon. Again, I think Greg and Brad covered everything with our train and our moving forward there. I know being out, there's always a silver lining. They've been able to get into our buildings, get more work done since we've been out. So that is probably a good thing there. So they'll continue to work and get through those items that they're working through. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll keep moving on. How about Miss Cynthia York?
All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Chairperson Dilley. I can't get my video turned on, so I'm just going to hear my voice tonight. I have no action items either tonight, just a few FYIs. The first one in the area of exceptional children. We are diligently working on our child count data, which is due December 1. We've also been able to conduct several trainings, first a couple actually while we were still on our hybrid schedule, and we've continued since we've been virtual. We've done a transition training for the high school teachers to make sure that our IEPs are compliant with those transition standards. And we have had a bit of a turnover at the high school in our ECE department this school year, so our consultants in our department have been very busy working with those new ECE teachers at the high school, and I'm very appreciative of their efforts, as well as the new teachers coming on board who are just really digging in this time. In the area of preschool, we're also working on child count in that area. Also proud of our preschool teachers who are collaborating with each other to create virtual lessons. Of course, our curriculum is Big Day in Pre-K and Zoophonics, and so they have taken turns creating virtual lessons that they are now sharing with each other and with families on these virtual days, and that's gone really well. And then as far as other items, we appreciate a donation of $4,000 that has come in from Modern Woodmen of America to support our Special Programs Department. In the area of health, Cumberland Health has provided COVID clinics and flu shot clinics over the last 3 weeks with great success. They've had over 500 participants visit their clinics each week that have been set up in various locations, and in this past week at Trojan Academy. And then I attended a training recently on our 504 procedures. So next month and into January, be expecting to see probably an approval of some changes that we need to make to our 504 procedures and forms that will be coming your way as we work on those. So that is all I have, Chairman Dealey, unless you have any questions or anyone has questions for me tonight.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. York? We'll keep moving forward. How about Ms. Kathy Burris?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Chairman Dilly. I don't have any action items. I just have a consent item that has to do with SBDM documentation. They updated the open records and open meeting document. So we were asked to get another proof of receipt signed. I think we just did that a month or so ago, but we were asked to do that again. In addition to that, Mr. Harper takes the lead on the CSIP documents. I'm sure he'll talk more in depth about those, but we've been working with principals on those to get phase 3 completed. Then the CARES Act money, the allocation that they used to figure the proportional amount for non-public school children changed. So we had to reconsult with all of those families. That's been done. There will be one additional student from a non-public school that will receive equitable services. It won't change the budget at all. It still fits in the budget, so there's no change there. The only other thing on my list is the Title I desk audit, which we are working diligently on. Hope to have that ready to send off by tomorrow. So that's all that I have, unless you all have questions for me.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Earlier, Scott said I needed to save the best for last. So, Mr. Harper, you want to go for it?
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Mr. Dilly. That's Mix It Up Thursday, I thought. So we do have one action item. It's our annual first offer of assistance. I think they usually come in October or November. We did receive our offer a week ago, and the offer of $33,439 is our first offer of assistance for the CATS match program that we are involved in. After you, if you approve this first offer of assistance, there are typically 2 other offers that would come from that. It is a little bit of a decrease from our first offer. In typical years, we would receive about $40,000. I think part of the reservation on that is, as you were aware, the state did have some budget issues they were working through, and we were just notified earlier in the week that those shortfalls may not happen. So I do anticipate the offers to in the second and third round to be closer to what we normally would have expected. So that is the only action item on there. We do have, as Ms. Burris made mention of, our CSIP and CDIP processes that we're working for our improvement plans. We will have those ready for you for the December meeting. Those items are all due to the department by the first of the year on January 1st, and so we'll have all that in line for you guys at your December meeting. Phase 3 items include the executive summary, the closing of the achievement gap, the CSIP component, and a new component called the professional learning plan that we will present for you at next month's meeting. The district committees are continuing to meet during these weeks to develop our plans that will carry us from January through next December. So we look forward to that. Last thing I'll mention, we do have some Wi-Fi
things going on around the district and some other technology items. This happens to be the smart bus unit that we have secured from our vendor at Khajiit. And hopefully next month I'll be able to tell you about securing a sponsorship from one of our local banks who reached out. They're going through their approval process to sponsor that for the year's cost of doing that. Something we can, as Cheyenne and I have worked on the Reads and Feeds bus over the years in conjunction with a lot of folks. This will be a new thing. We may have to rebrand it to Reads and Feeds and a little bit of Wi-Fi. I'm not sure, but we hope to be able to use that on the Reads and Feeds bus, but it will also have other applications in other places. So in addition to that, we, through our CARES Act funding that Ms. Burris mentioned, through that and some other grants through the state for last mile internet, we've been able to purchase for students who qualify by low income 140 Wi-Fi hotspots. Today's stats this afternoon, we've had about 310 hours of online work completed through that. That's about 20 gigabytes of data used, visiting over 130,000 websites as part of our support for our students while they're at home. I know Mr. Matthews made mention in the media this week a couple of times about our Chromebooks, and any parents, our community members that are on our live stream tonight. If you are in need of a device, and we have devices secured for grades 3 through 12, and if you need that device, please reach out to your school about checking those out. We do have a process in place for that, for students to have a Chromebook at home if they need it. So our last of our shipment did arrive, and we have all those devices deployed. Steve and the crew there at the tech office doing yeoman's work of getting all work orders complete, all devices delivered, and supporting staff and students as we are all working remotely during these weeks. I don't have any other items. Entertain any questions you might have, and I appreciate your support and your time.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Harper? If not, I think we are through the director reports. If I left anybody out.
I think Bud joined us by phone, and I don't think he had any action items, but hope you're feeling better, Bud Terry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we'll move on to the consent items. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent items?
Motion to approve.
Is that Tammy?
Second.
Yes.
Joy, is that you?
Yes.
Anyone motion was made and seconded? Would there be any discussion to the motion?
No.
If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to the action items. Do I hear a motion to approve the following BG1, the BG1 for Central Office Bible School?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mike.
Second.
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 Thank you, Shelley. Anyone like to speak to the motion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I hear a motion to approve the KETS offer of assistance?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Shelley.
Second.
Thank you, Tammy. Anyone like to speak to the motion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Shelley. Anyone like to speak to the motion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned.